Thanks.
I was just starting to go for it.
Now that was actually made by an elementary school TCIS, so a lot of the ideas in there were elementary school. You can kind of project that a little bit forward for how it can be used in the high school setting, in the middle school and high school setting. Okay. One of your tasks on the rubric will be to incorporate one SMART document activity into your lesson. Okay, so whether it's capturing something and then marking it up, whatever. You have to use your imagination and creativity to implement that. But let's talk real quick about the connections and how to hook this thing up. For those of you who haven't seen, let's come on. Basically, you have 4 connections in the back. You have a connection that runs from the projector on the wall in, and then out to the computer. And then you have your power, and you have your USB. So it draws its power from the wall, and it connects to the computer through USB. So there's 4 total connections, and there's a document on the wiki that walks step by step through that. Okay? That's really all there is to the document camera in terms of simplicity of use. It's really easy to use, but it's a lot of fun to use in terms of projecting things up on the board. Okay? And student work is a real nice thing to use with it.
Do you think every classroom will get one of these?
No. Every classroom, that will never happen, but there are enough, let's see, I mean, just our school, we have 2 of them, and we only have 75 students here. The bigger schools, Woodside, how many do we have? Woodside, I want to say there were at least 4 or 5. But the irony is that they're not heavily used, so I doubt that you're going to have any trouble checking them out.
Would they be in the media center? Or like library?
Depends on your school. Like for instance, at Woodside, we actually kept them in the the head end room, the technology room. It depends on the TCIS at your school. You'll have to talk to your TCIS, which is the person that does what I do. Sometimes they may have an agreement with the librarian to keep them in the media center. They might have decided to keep them in the tech lab.
I know at Gildersleeve they have the Elmo, so do they have that and the Elmo,
Yeah.
or would they just have...
The Elmo, which that stands for something, it really does, but the Elmo was kind of a generation before this. It wasn't made by SMART, it was another document camera, and it doesn't sync well with the SMART notebook. So for the purposes of this project and moving forward, you're going to want to use a document camera. It's better.
Okay.
It's better than the Elmo. Although there are some people who are used to using the Elmo, and they'll tell you that it's the best thing ever, but this is better, and it syncs with SMART notebook.
How much does one of them cost?
I couldn't even tell you. 800 maybe?
Oh. Sorry, that's more than I was expecting to be.
I could be totally off of that, but I got all these numbers floating in my head of all these smart products. I know the Centios are about 1,200. It might be a little less than that. I mean, you would think it wouldn't be too much. All it is a kind of a camera. But I don't know. We can go on Smart Site and find out. But even they probably wouldn't even tell you. They'd probably just say, call us for a quote.
$700.
Huh? It says on the site, 700?
Oh, it just has the cost of document cameras.
Hey, that was pretty close. Okay. Turn the light off. Continue moving through. Okay. So we're about halfway done with this. So now we can move forward through these. That's just a pen. Now, for many of you, just picking up the pen is going to be sufficient. But some of these trays have real issues, and you have more flexibility of colors, you know, and interesting things like that.
Can we like pick up a pen and change the color?
Family circuit.
Just by picking up the color.
One thing, by the way, some people when they first start using the SMARTBOARD get a real kick out of this, and it's real fun to stand up here and do this. But honestly, because I'm always in a rush, I'd rather just click on that and highlight all of this, and then just click delete.
Can you circle it and press it once?
What's that?
Like if you take the eraser and circle the whole page, and then tap it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I never use the eraser, so. That's good to know. All right. Second pen button, and these are kind of funky colors. Now, if you go over here to the object properties, the A, then you can click on line style, and you can change it from real thick to real thin. Of course, real thin, you can barely see what it is. But this box right there always has the properties for the particular object that you're working with. Okay? So I'm gonna. You said circle it and then tap.
Yeah, so like you draw, and then you take the eraser. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
I learned that too.
Then you get the fun of the eraser with the practicality of getting rid of it quick.
Very good.
Circle it.
All right, so then you have all these little funky kind of.
Can't do it with that.
Yeah, I think you can only do it with the actual eraser.
If you can think of an application for that.
Oh yeah. There's a smiling face on me.
Eraser. You can change the thickness of it. Okay. You can go back and forth.
That looks hysterical.
Here you have your lines. Curved lines. There are, for those of you who do teach math, you're going to want to check with your teacher. Some schools have actually purchased
Ashley,
the Smart Math add-on. There's a add-on that Smart came out with that attaches to Notebook and has all the math equations, formulas, and symbols built into it. So it's really convenient in that way. Because otherwise, what we had to do in the past, like for instance, when we were trying to generate the SOL release test, when we were trying to put them in a Smart Notebook, we would literally have to copy and paste all the equations and all the symbols because Smart didn't have a way to actually create them within the program. Here you have your shapes that you can use. Alternately, this is kind of a cool feature, is you can draw and Smart will recognize it. Okay, so it's smoothed out the lines, made it a square and a circle.
We can do that.
Okay? Now the magic eraser, or the magic pen, has a couple functions. It's got a magnifier. You can then magnify. So this is really cool. Actually, if you have a bit of text. Now, one thing I want to show you, just reminds me, is I showed you how you could copy a bunch of text on a page. There's another way to do it. In your browser, it would probably be File Print. I'm using Chrome, so I'm just going to hit Control P for Print. All right. In all your printers, there is one right here called Smart Notebook Print Capture. If you click Print, what that's going to then do is grab it and actually insert it. Like, remember that's the one that. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, well, it didn't grab all the text, obviously, but this is my wiki. And then what I could do is take the magic pen, oops, and draw a square, which is the shape of a magnifier. Like that. So let's say you have some text on the internet, an article that you want to read students. One of the quickest ways that you could do it is print it, literally print it off that website into Smart Notebook, and then use your magnifier for the kids in the back to see everything. Okay? Another tool, because the magic pen is exactly what it sounds like. It's figuring out what you want to do by the shape that you draw.
Did you see how he did that?
So if I draw a circle,
Just draw a box to the
it's
side.
going to do
It's a
this.
box.
Spotlight. Okay? I think. Oops. And then you can change the size and everything. Okay? Here are your fill colors, your font colors. And then finally, here's some math tools. Okay? So that is the basic toolbar up top. SMARTBOARD? Well, SMARTBOARD is, I've seen it used for every single subject. SMARTBOARD, Smart Notebook is used predominantly here and literally in every room. Every class you go into every day, you're going to see this stuff up there. Okay?
You said font color, other than like writing in the pen, like, would you type into this?
Yeah, well, you can type. Yeah, you can over here, and you can add, like, you can. It's a little easier if I do it from here. All I have to do is just click anywhere that I want and literally start typing. And highlight this, make it bigger, of course. Change my coloring. Okay? So you can write on it in pen, you can type in it, add pictures, print text off the web, etc., etc. Any other questions before we move over to this left-hand side? Yes?
This may be moving on, but I know you can take stuff from Smart and put it in Word, but can you take like a Word document and put it in Smart? Does it translate well, or does it mess up the formatting?
Share. Import. Let's say I want to import tonight's rubric. Okay. Looks like it's only looking for PowerPoint files. However, let's copy and paste this and see how it shows up. I mean, it's not bad. All right, but mainly what it's looking for is PowerPoint slides that are going to have the same kind of layout that the notebook file is going to have. Good question. Yeah.
Is there a way to copy and paste the entire document, like if you had a background or animations or anything, to another slide? Because I tried that earlier today, and it doesn't.
From a PowerPoint?
Yeah, either from PowerPoint or a different slide on
Well, your
Smart.
your animations aren't going to. This is not. Smart Notebook is not like presentation software,
Okay.
where it's going to show animations and things like that. It has different capabilities, which some of which I'm about to show you, than PowerPoint. But no, you wouldn't. You could capture all the text. You could see if a background would translate, but none of the transitions and stuff are going to come over.
Okay.
Okay.